E-Class coupe is a four-seater coupe from Mercedes-Benz, which is positioned between the smaller class coupe and larger class coupe in the German manufacturer's growing range. Despite being a familiar concept, the E-Class coupe has few direct rivals. The BMW 4 Series and BMW 6 Series are perhaps closest in concept, though the latter has 14 mm less rear legroom, and isn't available with all-wheel drive or four-cylinder engines. The 640i is most directly comparable, but is almost 20% more expensive. Other four-seat luxury coupes are either significantly smaller Audi S5, Lexus RC, or significantly more expensive Lexus LC, Maserati Gran Turismo. Comfortable and great to drive, the E-Class coupe is comfort-focused and luxurious first and foremost, with a plush interior, high-quality materials and excellent build quality, but it can also be surprisingly agile and fun to drive in the right specification. While the four-cylinder E220d turbodiesel and E300 turbocharged petrol might bring the E-Class coupe in reach of those on lower budgets and company car schemes, with up to 70 miles per gallon and just 106 gkm CO2 for the diesel, they feel underpowered and too unrefined for a four-seat coupe wearing a premium badge. Both the E220d and E300 are rear-wheel drive, but available with 4MATIC all-wheel drive at extra cost. While most derivatives will be fitted with a smooth-shifting 9-speed automatic gearbox, a lower-powered E200 four-cylinder petrol will be launched from mid-2017 with a 6-speed manual gearbox. If at all possible, however, we'd recommend avoiding the four-cylinder models. The E400 4MATIC steps up with a turbocharged 3.0-liter V6 engine and standard all-wheel drive, adding the silky refinement and prestige that the striking looks deserve. The E350d is 6-cylinder turbodiesel and high-performance E43 AMG featuring a re-engineered version of the E400's 3.0-liter V6 engine are set to arrive soon after launch. One trim level upon launch. All UK cars are offered in desirable AMG line specification, adding sportier body styling, 19-inch alloy wheels and useful extras including the reversing camera as standard. It's still easy to spend a large amount of money on options, however, especially when it comes to state-of-the-art technology. Widescreen digital screens that stretch out across the dashboard are optional. And while the basic infotainment screen with SatNav is standard, the Command Online system introduces more advanced navigation, wireless smartphone charging and Apple CarPlay Android Auto, allowing restricted smartphone functions such as maps and media to be controlled via the vehicle's media system at extra cost. Advanced driver assistance systems, which include the capability to bring the car to a stop in traffic, move off again, and steer for short periods, are also available. Mercedes has logically bundled many of these features together in attractive options packages, strongly incentivizing owners to spend thousands of pounds extra to create their perfect specification. Read on for the full Mercedes-Benz E-Class coupe review. Choice of 2 petrol engines and 2 diesels all come with 9-speed automatic gearbox. Hotter E43 AMG coupe to arrive later. The E-Class coupe is offered with a choice of 4 and 6-cylinder petrol and diesel engines. The 4-cylinder E220d coupe turbodiesel produces 194 horsepower, powering the 4-seat coupe from 0 to 62 miles per hour in 7.4 seconds and on to 151 miles per hour. A generous rush of torque does offer easy acceleration at moderate speeds, but the small diesel strains noisily if full acceleration is required on the motorway and feels lethargic. The E300 uses a 4-cylinder turbocharged petrol engine. With 245 horsepower, it accelerates from 0 to 62 miles per hour in 6.4 seconds, and on to 155 miles per hour. The deep engine note sounds far more enticing than the diesels at idle, but while performance is acceptable at moderate revs, it feels inadequate under harder acceleration, joining a motorway slip road, for instance, and the exhaust note thrashes unpleasantly above 3,000 revolutions per minute. The refinement of 6-cylinder models feels much more in keeping with the character of this large, luxurious 4-seat coupe. The E400 4MATIC's twin-turbocharged 3.0-liter V6 produces 333 horsepower, providing enough performance to accelerate from 0-62 miles per hour in a far swifter 5.3 seconds, with a 155 miles per hour top speed. Its acceleration isn't astounding, but the E400 has more than enough muscle, and emits a cultured, if suitably subdued, exhaust note even at much higher revs. Select Sport Plus mode and the throttle responds almost too eagerly to small inputs, but in lesser modes it's more relaxed without being lazy, which suits the E-Classe coupe perfectly. At launch, all models are fitted with a 9-speed automatic gearbox, which is generally smooth and swift to react. Drivers wanting full control can change gear via the steering wheel-mounted paddles. The E350D 6-cylinder turbodiesel arrives later, so too the high-performance E43 AMG coupe that will round out the range. Expect 402 horsepower for the former, 258 horsepower for the latter. Air suspension and all-wheel drive provides best driving coupe no sports car, but impressive composure and performance for a car that could be forgiven for being a relaxed cruiser. The E-Classe coupe handles surprisingly well, particularly when specified with optional air suspension and 4MATIC all-wheel drive. With its blend of comfort, performance and composure, the E400 4MATIC is particularly satisfying, gripping strongly and displaying an unexpected agility on twisting roads. The 4MATIC system typically feels rear-wheel drive for a more satisfying drive, though less so than BMW's X-Drive system. But the extra traction out of tighter turns means it's both more sure-footed and significantly faster than E-Classe coupes not fitted with 4MATIC. The E400 4MATIC doesn't feel like an out-and-out sports car, but it's highly impressive. In comparison, an E220D on standard suspension and with rear-wheel drive all-wheel drive is optional on 4-cylinder models felt less poised and confidence-inspiring when driven harder. The steering is electrically assisted and features a variable ratio. The latter means the steering turns the front wheels at a progressively faster rate the more the driver twists the wheel. So while the steering is slow and stable on a motorway, the driver's hands don't need to move as much on a meandering mountain road. While the increasingly fast ratio is noticeable at first, it soon feels natural and contributes to the E-Classe coupe's eagerness to change direction. Electric steering also allows Mercedes engineers to significantly increase the level of power assistance at very low speeds, making it easy to twirl the wheel around while squeezing into tight parking spaces. The E-Classe coupe is quite a large car, and does have a relatively thick rear roof pillar and narrow rear window, so the standard-fit reversing camera is extremely helpful. Luxurious cabin mirrors E-Classe saloon leather upholstery as standard highly adjustable driving position. The interior of the E-Classe coupe closely mirrors the E-Classe saloon, although some details such as the intricate air vents and trim, including open-pore wood, are coupe-specific. Despite the commonality, the coupe feels and looks extremely luxurious and displays a very high level of fit and finish. It's easy to mistake the cabin for that of a much more expensive car, and the gloss black trim, high-quality artificial leather or optional leather upholstery and dials that click with Swiss watch precision all underline this impression. The driving position is also spot-on, offering a wide range of adjustment for both the steering wheel and seat to ensure all drivers are comfortable. That the seats can also be lowered close to the floor creates a suitably low-slung and sporty feeling. The driver's seat is electrically adjustable as standard, the passenger's at extra cost. Both the 12.3-inch digital cockpit display replacing the analog speedometer and rev counter and same-sized command online media screen are optional C equipment but are must-haves for early adopters. Functions can be controlled either via the touch-sensitive capacitive switches on the steering wheel, or the rotary controller on the center console. If you're familiar with modern smartphone technology, it should all be mostly intuitive, and what isn't is easy to learn. Key climate control functions remain easily accessible via physical switches, helping to reduce the driver distraction caused by adjusting such settings via a touchscreen. E-Classe saloon chassis improves on predecessor's comfort. More space for passengers with comfortable seats. The E-Classe coupe is designed to be a refined and luxurious tourer, and mostly it succeeds. The seats are highly comfortable with good support, and the headrests are generously padded. Even rear seat passengers are well catered for, with significantly more knee room than the previous generation. It means 4 6-feet-tall adults can spend a long journey in comfort, even if their heads might be very close to the roof lining. 2 suspension setups are available, along with standard 19-inch or optional 20-inch alloys. Dynamic body control uses conventional springs with adjustable shock absorbers, which allows the driver to choose between settings, ranging from comfort-focused to progressively sportier. While less cushioned than air suspension, dynamic body control does offer a good compromise. Air body control is optionally available, replacing springs with chambers of air to smooth out the road surface. The result is a ride that's generally plush, but can be firmed up at the press of a button for sportier driving. While road noise is well suppressed, the early cars we drove did suffer from higher than expected wind noise. It's worth paying close attention to see if this has been remedied on any car you test drive. 4-cylinder petrol and diesel derivatives are also disappointingly vocal under heavier, but far from extreme, acceleration. 6-cylinder versions are far superior, and suit a car of this nature much better. Single AMG line trim level, generous level of standard equipment, optional driver assistance packs available. Unlike other world markets, the E-Class coupe is offered only in upscale AMG line specification in the UK. Standard Mercedes E-Class equipment. Standard equipment on all models therefore includes 19-inch alloy wheels and more eye-catching AMG front and rear bumpers, bootlet spoiler and side skirts, LED head and tail lights, and the parking pilot function, which includes parking sensors and reversing camera. The belt feeder function automatically hands the otherwise hard-to-reach seatbelt to the driver. Magic Vision Control, meanwhile, sprays water directly from the windscreen wiper arm, allowing the driver to clearly see the road ahead even when cleaning the windscreen. Ambient lighting brings a mind-boggling choice of 64 color accents for the interior. Polar white or black are the only no-cost exterior colors. As standard, the front and rear seats are upholstered in imitation, but highly convincing, Art Deco leather and Dinamica cloth, with the front seats benefiting from heating. An 8.4-inch central screen with Garmin SatNav comes as standard on all models, except the E400 which is upgraded to Command Online specification and features a 12.3-inch screen. The larger screen is optionally available on other models, and all owners can upgrade from conventional analog instruments, see the speedometer and rev counter, to the 12.3-inch digital cockpit display. This sits flush with the Command Online screen to create one seamless 24.6-inch widescreen look. Optional Mercedes-Benz E-Class equipment. The premium package adds a memory package ensuring the electric front seats and steering column return to preset positions at the press of a button, a panoramic sliding sunroof and keyless go, the latter allowing the driver to climb into the car and start the engine without removing the ignition key from his or her pocket. Premium Plus introduces multi-beam LED intelligent lights, which selectively dips individual LEDs to avoid dazzling oncoming traffic while the driver maintains full beam. When either premium package is specified along with Command Online, buyers can also choose Remote Parking Pilot, enabling the driver to remotely park the E-Class coupe using a smartphone. This carries a small subscription fee, which must be renewed after 3 years. The night package adds gloss black detailing to alloy wheels, mirrors, front and rear bumpers, and introduces a diamond radiator grille and privacy glass, which also helps to disguise the ugly quarter light in the rear side windows. Other desirable options include 20-inch alloys, Napa leather upholstery, wireless smartphone charging and a Burmester surround sound stereo system. Optional advanced driver assistance systems are outlined in the safety section below. Based on E-Class Saloon, which achieved 5-star Euro NCAP rating, wide range of safety kit as standard. Further safety kit available to option. The E-Class Saloon achieves a maximum 5-star Euro NCAP rating, which the safety experts say is applicable to all E-Class variants. Passive safety features deployed in the event of an accident include 7 airbags, driver and passenger airbags and side airbags, driver's knee bag, window bags, and an active bonnet which automatically raises when it detects a pedestrian impact, helping to separate the pedestrian from the solid engine and suspension components beneath. If a crash is deemed likely, pre-safe tightens seatbelts, adjusts the seats if electrically powered to the optimum position, and quickly closes the sunroof and side windows. Active safety features. Those that prevent an accident in the first place include active brake assist, which warns the driver if a collision with another vehicle or pedestrian is deemed likely and can apply full braking force if the driver doesn't react. It can bleep rather a lot during spirited driving, but did not actually apply braking force during our test drive. Attention assist, meanwhile, warns the driver should it detect driver fatigue. Optional driver assistance packages include: lane tracking package, includes blind spot assist, triggers a visual warning in the wing mirror should a car appear in the blind spot, and an audible warning if the driver indicates, and active lane keeping assist, which warns a driver who is wandering out of the lane without indication, and helps to keep the vehicle between the white lines. Driving assistant package adds to the lane tracking package with Drive Pilot, essentially adaptive cruise control that can bring the car to a complete stop in traffic and move off again, and can steer for the driver for short periods. Evasive steering assist helps the driver in making the correct steering inputs while bringing the vehicle under control after swerving to avoid an impact. And Pre-Safe Plus, which warns following traffic and locks the brakes immediately before a rear-end impact. Larger chassis provides more space than its predecessor, unlike its previous E-Class coupe, which was based on smaller class underpinnings. The latest E-Class coupe uses the E-Class saloon chassis as its basis. That explains the significant gain in dimensions, with the length increased by 123 mm to 4,826 mm, the width by 74 mm to 1,860 mm, and the height by 33 mm to 1,430 mm. There's also a generous 425-liter boot, providing space and comfort for 4 adults and their luggage. The 2 individual seats in the rear do mean that no more than 4 occupants can be carried, however.